Hi everyone, this is a quick overview of the Disaster Niagara activity, and this activity is designed for you to refresh your ArcGIS skills or learn your basic ArcGIS skills. So the first thing you need to do is open up the activity, and then you should make a file, make a copy. Where are we? Make a copy. So then you've got your own version sitting in your Google Drive, which you can edit. All right. So following that, what you need to do is to go to ArcGIS, and so if you just go to arcgis.com, this takes you to our digital mapping platform, and if you have your account and you still remember the password, you can simply type it into to the section over here. But if you don't have an account or you need to start a new one, click on Create a Public Account, and I would suggest not to use the Google Drive. You could, but it's better just type in your information, and don't forget to record your password and your new username, because I will not have any access to that information. So once you've got an account, you can sign in. And the first step that we want to do is change. Well, first of all, we want to open up a new map. And what we want to do is change the base map so that we're looking at Street View. So let's go to a familiar place, our school, so 535 Lake Street, Catherine's. Make sure you spell it correctly with two A's. And I'm just going to click on Add to Map Notes so that I've got a marker there so I can always easily find where our school is. From that, you should be able to see down here is the QEW, and if you go back to the assignment and read the article, you'll find out that the truck it fell over right about here, right by the bridge on the QEW. So what we want to do is, it says that we want to create a new layer, so we're going to go Add Map Notes, and according to the instructions, they want us to call this layer Niagara Disaster. Something appropriate, not Map Notes 1. So now all of our tools will appear, and we can create a push pin where the accident occurred. So we just click, and we're going to give this a name. I'm not sure if it tells us we've got to give it a particular name. We'll just call it collision site. And we're going to change the symbol so it's something appropriate. So there's lots of pre-made symbols in here. So we can click on, let's see, disasters. Seeing that it's a chemical spill, this makes you think of chemicals. And there we are. Now our next step is to use our measure tool to figure out where the evacuation zone is. So it's 1.2 kilometers away from this location right here. So what we want to do is click on the measure tool. Right now it's set on area, and we want to switch it over to distance. And so what we're going to do is click very close. You can't click on it. You'll see how my cursor changes. I'm going to click very close to it. And then you'll see up here it's telling me the distance. So I want to go 1.2 kilometers. Doesn't matter which way I go. And then double click at the end. So that spot is 1.2 kilometers away. And I'm just going to put a temporary push pin right there. I'm going to close out the measure tool. Actually, you know what? Let's use the measure tool again. This is probably the faster way of doing things. I'm going to click measure, and once again use the distance. And this time I'm going to measure 2 kilometers away. So here I go. There's 2 kilometers. Double click at the end. Put a push pin there. All right, so now what I'm ready to do is to draw 2 circles, and one will have a radius of 1.2 kilometers, and the other one will have a radius of 2 kilometers. It says that the first one is going to be called the evacuation zone. So the one that is only 1.2 kilometers in diameter is going to be called that, and it's to be filled with red and have a border of black. So I'm going to click on my circle tool. I'm going to click really close to my symbol here. Zoom in, drag out until the very edge of my circle is just touching my first push pin. Give it the appropriate name. Change the symbol so that the fill is red and the outline is black. And I'm going to make the line a little thicker, maybe about a thickness of 5. Sometimes I got to move this marker up a little bit so that I can click on the OK down here. So there we have our red circle. Now we want to draw a second one, which is going to be filled with orange and have a black outline. So I'm just going to move this circle out of the way. Otherwise, I can't really click where I need to. So I'm just going to click on my circle symbol, click and drag until it's now touching that further marker, and change this so that it's got a fill. Be careful that you've got fill activated. Make it orange. And make it the outline black. And once again, make the thickness of that outline to be a 5. Now I can move my initial circle back. So I want to, oops. And there we go. So the last thing we're supposed to do is we're supposed to put a push pin where the bridge is by the Green Ribbon Trail in St. Catharines on Martindale Road. So if you look here, here's Martindale Road, and the Green Ribbon Trail is right in this area here. So I'm going to put a push pin to indicate that that road is closed. I'll just change the symbol. Let's see if I've got a traffic one here. Yeah, I got transportation. Put the pylons up. How's that? So it says identify an evacuation center in the north end of the city and an evacuation center in the south end of the city using an appropriate symbol of your choice. So you're going to think of large buildings, usually public buildings. So for instance, a school or an arena, something along that line. So you need to find somewhere on the map here an appropriate evacuation location that's not inside of these two circles. And you'll create a push pin in that location. I'm just randomly putting a push pin. And this would be called a, let's see here, evacuation center. Okay, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to have to make this really quick. Not sure if I've got a good symbol. I'm just going to put the symbol for now. It says use the line tool, trace a detour route to take traffic around the closed highways. All right, so the QEW is closed here, so I have to look carefully for where there's an exit. So here's an exit from the QEW. So I need to figure out how to get people off here and get them back onto the highway somewhere over here. All right, so and hopefully it's not going to go through the evacuation area. You could possibly send them through the stay and secure. It's not the best, but you're going to look for diversion that's hopefully not going through either one of these circles. All right, looks like I'm running out of time here, so that will give you the basics. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but there's also lots of people in the class who are really good at this.